Today's webinar is on something different. It is on coping, how to cope with COVID from close quarters. We'll introduce the speaker. Uh, we have speakers all over Gujarat. Dr. Payal Shah. She will be the first speaker. She is pathologist. And why we are doing this webinar? Tons of subjects, webinar all the time, series of practical webinars from Rajkot Ophthalmic Society. This is the 7th one in 3 months, and this one is most topical of them, and probably the most important too. Why we have selected these speakers? Who else other than doctors who have handled COVID-19 directly themselves can be more qualified to talk on it? They deserve a big applause from all of us. We'll introduce them one by one as they speak. Also need COVID test as well as assess the buzz about HRCT. Our first speaker is Dr. Payal Shah. She is assistant professor in pathology, PDU Medical College, Rajkot. She is young and dynamic speaker and good academician. Her topic will be all about lab test for COVID-19. I would request Dr. Payal Shah to start her presentation.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, fine. Good morning to all the members of Rajkot Ophthalmic Society. I would like to thank Dr. Porwal sir especially and Dr. Suketu Bappal for giving me this opportunity to have a talk on even my experience and the practical aspects of laboratory tests of COVID-19. Now, this is the recent guidelines we have available of ICMR of who of all are to be tested. Just important points I will speak. All symptomatic patients with influenza-like illness with international travel history. All symptomatic patients of laboratory confirmed cases and all symptomatic frontline workers. Another important point which is summarized in this ICMR guidelines is no emergency procedures including deliveries should be delayed for the lack of test. So still government has not made it mandatory that pre-op testing of COVID has to be done. But they have made it open that if your patient and surgeon is willing for pre-op testing, then we can do it. Now, how do we diagnose any disease? For any disease like viral disease, we can diagnose that by identification of viral genome that we can get from swabs, a nasal swab or throat swab. Or we can diagnose any viral disease from the immunoglobulins which are produced in the body in response to exposure to this genome. Now let us see what we have available for COVID testing. At present, methods which are available with us are RT-PCR, TrueNet, CBNet testing, and antigen antibody detection test. We'll be going into detail of all this test, which is practically relevant to us. Coming to RT-PCR, it is a gold standard method for testing of SARS coronavirus 19, and we take nasal and throat swabs from a patient. It involves extracting of RNA of virus. RNA population is converted into complementary DNA and which is amplified by polymerase chain reaction. Now, which viral genes we detect? We detect E gene, RDRP gene and ORF gene. 2 of this gene confirmation is sufficient for diagnosis of disease. Just a schematic representation of what we do in RT-PCR. This is a viral RNA. It has to be converted into complementary DNA. This complementary DNA, this viral RNA will be converted into complementary DNA with the help of enzyme reverse transcriptase. So this is the name, reverse transcription, and then we will be converted. Then the cyclic DNA will be amplifying this cyclic DNA and will be getting multiple copies of DNA, which with the help of fluorescent probe will be plotting in a graph. So it is known as reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. We take nasal and oral swabs from the patient. We transport swab into this viral transport medium. Okay. Sample handling of COVID-19 patient has to be done very properly because it is very infective. So that sample is carried in a 3-layer packing. This tube is put in a Ziploc bag, and then we put this thing in a container which maintains a cold chain. Okay, coming to the practical aspects of RT-PCR. When is the positive result obtained? It is from as early as from the day 2 to day 7, anywhere between these days of infection, we will be able to know the positive infection. Now, sensitivity of RT-PCR is 60 to 70%. What does it mean? That we are missing around 30% of the test. Positive patients, even with RT-PCR. So what are the causes of false negative test? First, very low viral load. If viral load is very low, like in initial days of infection, day 2 or day 1 even, then we may miss the test. Second is, if sample is not collected properly or not transported properly, we may have false negative test. Specificity of this test is 100%. That is, if test is positive, patient is infected with COVID-19 unless and until there is sample contamination. So, seeing the sensitivity of the test, is RT-PCR sufficient for diagnosis? No. Alone RT-PCR is not sufficient for diagnosis. It has to be properly compiled with clinical features and findings of HRCT image, which my senior will be taking in next lecture. So if we have strong clinical suspicion and positive CT findings, we may repeat negative RT-PCR for confirmation. So this is about the practical aspect of RT-PCR. One more thing which we are facing as hindrance with RT-PCR is it is a very costly affair. Like we need a specialized laboratory setup with minimum 35 to 40 lakhs of costing for development of a lab to run RT-PCR. And it is a time-consuming procedure. Like you have to wait for minimum 6 to 8 hours to get the results. So what next? What else we are searching to replace this test or to get equivalent positive results? Another 30 minutes. Okay. This TrueNet or CBNet testing, that is cartridge-based nucleic acid testing. This instrument which I have shown in the my slide, that is available in all the district laboratories as well as in the primary health centers for tuberculosis testing. It is also known as micro PCR machine. Now, government has utilized this TrueNet or CBNet testing machine, which was initially provided for diagnosis of tuberculosis, to diagnose and to screen and diagnose the cases of COVID-19. So it is simpler as compared to RT-PCR, and it is even reliable because we go for 2 assays: e-gene screening assay and RP confirmatory assay. And once a result is positive by this test, it has to be considered positive. No need of further confirmation. But only thing is, only 3 to 4 samples can be run at a time. So sample capacity of this testing is less. But this modality is available for diagnosis in the peripheral health centers. Okay. Coming to the rapid tests. Rapid antigen detection test. This test that is as similar as what we are doing HIV, HBsAg rapid testing. So what is this test status of this rapid antigen detection test? It is also known as standard Q COVID-19 antigen detection test kit. Luckily, this test kit is produced in India by a Delhi-based company. Results of this test, they are approved by studies of ICMR Delhi and AIIMS Delhi, and sensitivity and specificity of this test is almost equivalent to RT-PCR. Testing time is also very less. In 30 minutes, we perform this test. At any small scale laboratories can be using this test, and only thing they required is proper PPE kit. The person running this test has to be wearing PPE kit and has to take proper biosafety precautions. Otherwise, this is a very handy test which is available with us. And if this test is available, it would be easy for us to do pre-op testing. This test is See, this test is also very handy. It is having one tube, viral extractor tube, and a rapid test kit, which we are similar to what we are using in HIV, HBsAg. That swab is put in this viral extractor medium. Then from this, after 15 minutes, you have to put the sample in this kit, and you will be interpreting positive and negative results in a very simpler way. So this is the test which we are waiting. If this test comes, it will be easy for us to test at our requisition, because we can at present we cannot test patients if we want to do. Only symptomatic patients can be tested. Some relaxations are available by the government but for RT-PCR, but still that is not easily accessible. So if these test kits are available with us, then it will be a easier task to test the patient's way we want, and even pre-op testing of the patient would be easier. These test kits are expected to come in the market by mid-July, because only wait is of production node. Otherwise, all the formalities for this test kit to come into the market and to come to the production are successful. Coming to rapid antibody detection tests. This will screen IgM and IgG. These tests, unfortunately, are not a big help to us. ICMR clearly states that this test cannot be used only for surveillance purpose. Just to detect herd immunity of a community, we cannot use this test for diagnostic purpose, because for IgM to develop, it is taking around 14 days. And by the 14th day of infection, patient is usually non-infective. So there is no point in diagnosing a patient at the 14th day of infection. IgG, not very sure when it appears. No proper sensitivity of this test is detected. So this test is practically of no use to our medical profession. Okay, that was about the testing modalities which we have available with us for testing and for diagnosis of COVID-19 positive cases. Now, what are the other lab investigations what we monitor for these patients, for those positive patients which are admitted in the hospital? Simpler investigations which we do is complete blood count, which is usually normal in 60 to 70% of cases at the time of diagnosis. Only lymphopenia is a rule. which is a contrasting feature from other viral infections. Like in dengue, you will see relative lymphocytosis, but in COVID, we see lymphopenia. So that is a practical help for us to differentiate some common viral infections, which we see even during these cases. When we see neutrophilia, we suspect it a secondary bacterial infections. We correlate with lot of other inflammatory markers, which will help the clinician to start the further management. Platelet count is also normal, usually normal. Mild thrombocytopenia can be seen. What we monitor to see whether patient is going into any complication or not. Important things available with us is D-dimer, which is a very good indicator of severity of the disease. If D-dimer is altered, if it is raised, that means there is some impending complication going on in the patient, and some intervention is required to supplement. To complement that finding, we add fibrinogen. If both of them are raised, then we give signal to the clinician. Clinician identifies that patient is going into some coma, and it will help them to monitor. Okay, so what is the current scenario with us? At present, for all major surgeries, if we want to do pre-operative COVID testing, then it has to be done with RT-PCR. As I said earlier also, it is a very costly affair. You have to shed around 3,000 to 5,000 rupees from patient before surgery to get pre-op COVID testing done. One more thing, in Rajkot, no private setup is giving this facility to do RT-PCR. So you have to send collection of your patient sample to Ahmedabad. You have to wait for the report. So it will take around 1 day, not less than 1 day, to get a result of RT-PCR. So at present, it is a complicated thing. Government setup are not allowing pre-op COVID testing to be done on request unless and until any patient is having symptoms. So at present, we don't have anything available with us for pre-op COVID testing. So what next? We are waiting for rapid antigen detection kits, which are equally sensitive and specific as compared to RT-PCR, expected to come in the market by mid-July. Some of the laboratories of Mumbai have procured it. They are working on it. We are having positive results with that. So if this comes, this is what all of you are waiting for. And it will be easy, just like HIV, HPSAG, to test in your pre-op patients. And last thing, antigen antibody detection test kits. It is not useful for us. It is not approved by ICMR, so we cannot rely on that. Okay. These are the headlines. Just 2 days back, the government has reduced cost of RT-PCR testing, and even markers of rapid antigen test kits are called for ICMR validation. I end my topic here. I end my talk here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We will take question later as we are running short of time.